Greetings everyone and welcome to this webinar. Today we will be discussing ISO 39001 road traffic safety. I am Arta Lamani, the PECB organizer of this webinar, and the guest for today is Ronnie Mapanoo, PECB certified trainer and registered safety practitioner and member of the International Institute of Risk and Safety Management, UK. Please feel free to write your questions and comments in the question box in the right-hand control panel, or you can use the raise hand function. We will unmute you and you will have the chance to ask the question directly. Ronnie will answer to all questions accordingly at the end of the presentation. Please, Ronnie, you can start the presentation.
All right. Good afternoon, or should I say good evening in Saudi Arabia. My name is Ronnie, as Arta mentioned a while ago. I'm a member of International Institute of Risk Management and currently one of the trainers of PECB. I'm conducting several courses for ISO professional certification. So I'm happy and privileged to have this opportunity to present to you one of the standards, which is has something to do with road transport safety or safety management. So to begin with, the presentation goal is to basically to spur discussion on the ISO 39000 standard and its application to road accident prevention. I have the following course outline that I'll be covering for the next 30 to 45 minutes, namely the truth behind the traffic safety. This is more of the statistics worldwide and some particular implications of road traffic safety. Especially in third world country, which is I'll be citing some case study as well here in Saudi as well as in Philippines. Also, the need of new road traffic management, which is the ISO 39000 and its core elements and the general basic or the benefits of ISO 39001. Okay. So let's begin with some statistics. Based on World Health Organization, there's approximately about 1.3 million fatalities and about 50 million injuries each year. Well, the good thing about this one, or something like very speaking, is 90% of the road deaths occur in developing countries, which include, unfortunately, my country, my home country, Philippines. And well, what other significant information is the number one cause of death is basically for young people. And it is predicted that by 2030, the road traffic accident will be the 5th largest cause of death. So quite alarming indeed. That's why United Nations have this decade of action for road safety, which basically aims to prevent 5 million road deaths globally by 2020. And this will include the management pillar and the implementation of the ISO 39001. The need for the new managed road traffic management system, such as the 39001, has something to do with the road trauma that is globally happening and it's increasingly growing. There's a critical need for more intensive implementations of such system and to build this RTC within the public and organization. I think I can speak for most of us that is basically working with, industries and having this road activities or transport activities day in and day out. We can empathize with the accident happening all around us and in some occasion on our personal level. So the need for new traffic system is imperative nowadays. Well, just to cite you some of the implication of road traffic issues, such as traffic jam, JICA, the Japan International Corporation Agency, have conducted a research just recently, and they said that related to traffic safety or traffic jams, and in Philippines, it costs about 57 million of income, potential income daily, because people are being trapped in a suburban area or urban area. It costs a potential income loss of 57 million a day. That is too much of money. So by 2030, they said that it will increase from to 6 billion pesos, or equivalent to $142 million. So also, JICA reported that this traffic congestion leads to increased fuel consumption and automobile emission. So if you relate this one to the greenhouse emission, it will increase the emission from 5.72 million tonnage a year in 2030 compared to 4.7 million tons a year in 2012. So the issues of traffic safety also entails traffic accident that may cause traffic jam and so on and so forth. So this is one of the implication of road traffic safety that may later on leads to traffic obstruction or the traffic jam. Well, in Saudi per se, a research just recently, Arab News, based on their research, there is a very good, you can say very interesting, not very good, very interesting information related to traffic accidents. So they said that there is one traffic accident every minute in Saudi Arabia. That will means roughly about 7,000 deaths annually and over 39,000 injuries per year. Now, if you translate that into deaths or related to traffic deaths, KSA ranked top of the list of world countries regarding the number of total deaths per 1,000 persons, which is about 21. So they said that the traffic accident stands at 3 billion real annually. So if you do the math, that is over $3.75. That is the cost of the economic loss resulting from traffic, based on the Traffic Safety Committee in Eastern Province. Not only that, they said that 70% of accidents that occur in the kingdom are of minor sort, which cost less than 5,000 real. So these are the current scenario of road traffic safety in the kingdom, and there was a research conducted by Al Ghamdi, an associate professor in King Fahd University. He conducted the research from the period of 1971 to 1994 related to the numbers of traffic and accident, injuries, and fatality. And he said that increased by 30 times, or 6 times and 7 times respectively. Now, the study showed that both fatality rates and accident severity have increased, and the need for improvement is urgently needed. Okay. Based on the research of Al Ghamdi, he said that there are several contributing factors to KSA accident. Well, one of those will be road factors, which has something to do with infrastructure. During that time, there was no available data to correlate the road factors to the KSA accident. But vehicular factors is only 5%, which includes the basic safety of tires, lights, steering, and the braking system. Now, interestingly enough, based on the research conducted by Lee, one of the top factors contributing to KSA accident is human factors. You have the issues of teenager, non-Saudi, married drivers, illiterate, and drivers without license. Now, the non-Saudi, as I look at the research regarding the non-Saudi, they said that most of these non-Saudis are illiterate, so to speak, cannot read and write. So related to traffic sign and signals and things like that, they are little or no knowledge at all. Married drivers correlate with the work-life balance, and of course, we have mentioned a while ago, if you don't know the traffic rules, then you'll be in trouble when you are in, in a congested area or a familiar scenario. And also, they said that there are several drivers driving without license. There was a research says that there were some drivers driving for the past 15 years without a driver's license. So that is quite alarming in terms of human factors. Also, the time of occurrence is normally daytime, or from between 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is the typical working time here in KSA. And then the location of occurrences is in urban area or in the city proper. Okay. Types of accident is from collision and non-collision. Under collision, it will include collision with other vehicle, pedestrian, mixed object, and animal, and collision, over and off-road. Also, uses the issues, the basic issues of accident, because out of the accident, okay, Lee mentioned that there are only about 2% who use the seatbelt properly. So there's a serious issues of basic personal safety on the part of the drivers. So these are some of the implications of road safety when it comes to the economic losses and also the contributing factors regarding road traffic safety. Now, the core elements of road traffic safety has something to do with safe system approach, which basically a philosophy of managing the road safety towards achievement of measurable result, which is has something to do with viewing road crashes and injury as a predictable circumstances and can be preventable, as opposed to fatalistic acceptance of road death or price of progress. But in my short stay in Saudi Arabia, there were several notions on local drivers that says that if you will die today, you will die today. Okay, regardless how you drive. If God called you, then it will be your time is up. But these are apart from the contrary to the context of the road traffic management system. We would like to prevent accident from happening by anticipating hazardous situations. So if we create them a system, then we can do the maximum possible action that we could possibly do to prevent accidents. So this road traffic management system will help to reduce human factors, so to speak. In the safe system approach, we are considering the prevention effort as a whole compared to the individual sector approach, or also it will recognize the vulnerability of human injury or errors of judgment. So if you got the safe system approach, meaning to say you establish the system, and in a context where people are quite reluctant in following what is the norm or what are the standards, then a good system will somehow reduce the limitations of human intervention. Also, with the safe system approach, you can implicate or you can include the safe system infrastructure, meaning say if the roads and road signs are designated to reduce the risk as low as possible, or setting the road limits and so on and so forth. The safe system in terms of infrastructure has a very important crucial role in road safety traffic management system. Now, this has something to do with the public and private organizations, so to speak. So if we can designate the road signages or even the speed limit within the company, and also outside the company, then it will reduce the likelihood of accident. So the development of the ISO 39000, which was championed by the Sweden way back in 2000, early 2000, um, by the Secretariat of ISO PC 241. It is modeled with the ISO 9000 quality management system and environmental management. So it's adapt the safe system and the ultimate vision as a basis. So the development process took some time to basically develop this management system, starting from the convention and some experts conveying for the process development of the 39001. So they come up with the ISO 72 guide for management system and replicating the QMS of 9001 and environmental management. So also the development of process of ISO 39001 considered the organization required activity in the areas, okay, that needs road traffic. Okay. Also support the knowledge from road safety expert, okay, plus the transfer of knowledge from road safety expert, okay, to others. Okay. So the development of the ISO 39001 is a product of a collaborations of ingenuity from the ISO organization itself and the road transport expert, so to speak. Okay. So having said that, the core elements will focuses on establishing the vision, target objectives, and also development of plans to meet the objectives. The typical QMS of allocating resources for implementation and measure how to measure and monitor progress. So in effect, it will follow the PDCA cycle, which is plan, do, check, and act. So like any other management system, the ISO 39001 follows the Deming principle of PDCA. So to discuss a bit on the important aspect of the management system concerning ISO 39001, on the planning aspect, you need to consider the organizational context. So that will needs to identify how organization can impact on road safety, such as the employee use of road transport system, goods and passenger transport, major generation of traffic flow, service delivery and products from the road transport system. Also, this will entail engagement of stakeholders and the development of the management system. So on the part of establishing the context, these are the things that we need to consider as far as developing the RTS. Okay. Also, the leadership, the top management per se, must adopt elimination of death and serious injury as a long-term goal. Okay. And not only that, the interim road safety objectives. I'll discuss more of the interim road safety objectives a little later. But the top management view is at the long-term and an interim road safety objective. So therefore, part of the planning will be identification of risks and opportunity and action to address them, and then to consider and measure known RS performance. Okay? So you need to develop your own KPIs for your road safety, and also set your objectives and plan, which basically will be your programs and your strategy, so to speak. Okay. So in terms of safety performance factors, this will include risk exposure factors, final safety outcome factors, which is the reduction of deaths, so to speak. Interim safety outcome factors has something to do with road design, safe speed, especially considering separation on coming traffic and durable road users. Okay? Those are some of the intermediate or interim objectives. the use of appropriate roads depending on the vehicle and types of cargo. There were several accidents in the KSA that has something to do with the suitability of the vehicle and also the use of personal safety equipment. There was a case in the kingdom way back then. There was a truck driver who basically is carrying some kind of a cargo vehicle, and he underestimated the vertical clearance of one of the tunnel. Okay, so what happened then? The top portion of the truck hit the the top part of that tunnel. So those are issues of considering the vehicle types, also the equipment, as well as the personal safety equipment. Okay? Fitness of drivers, and especially considering fatigue and distraction and alcohol. Alcohol and drugs are not not relevant to Saudi per se, but a recent accident that transpired, I think, a week ago, is connected with driver's fatigue. As a training provider, we do conduct several courses for defensive driving, and one of our clients happened to cause an accident, and the cause of based on the accident report, one of the underlying cause of the accident was the driver is rushing to go back to their company, to complete the day's task, and it resulted into 13 fatalities. And after that, the mother contractor has conducted an investigation and suspended the operation for 1 week. So these are typical issues of driver's fatigue. And nowadays, the other form of distraction will be the use of cell phone, and it is becoming the second largest cause of accident, okay, surpassing drinking while driving. Okay, also the safe vehicle, okay, especially during using of the occupant protective protection and things like that. Okay, so those are the road worthiness of the vehicle, securing of the load, and things like that. In some part in the developing country, there's no limitation of securing the clearance from the Transport Ministry or Department of Transport. The roadworthiness of the vehicle is not being monitored by the government. So you can see 20 to 30 years old vehicle still, driving on the road and causing a lot of emission also to traffic in terms of when this vehicle break somewhere somehow. So this has something to do with the roadworthiness of the vehicle as well. And also the safe journey plan. Okay, so the part of road traffic safety has something to do with journey management. Okay? And safe speed, considering vehicle type and traffic and weather conditions. So this should be part of the aspect for planning or key performance indicator. The appropriate authorization to drive and ride the class of vehicle, okay, being driven or use, okay, removal of unfit vehicles and drivers and riders, okay, and post-crash first aid, preparedness to alert, and things like that. So those are some of the key safety performance, so to speak, in terms of road traffic. Okay. Moving on the do part, the management should basically coordinate this system as the typical QMS requires, that a good communication flow, coordination among different levels of the organization should be ensured. Also the allocation of resources, the competence, training and awareness, okay, and the promotion of the management system or road traffic safety management, or as basic as the performance indicator of the company. Okay? So these are the basic aspect of implementing the road traffic safety in terms of support. Okay? In operation, all the process needed to address the risks and opportunities. Okay? So these are in addition to the do part. Okay? From the check, of course, we need to evaluate the performance of our company. So that would mean what are the aspects needs to have improvement, okay? Especially if there's an accident, the accident should be investigated, okay? So, and also the management should ensure a efficient and effective review of the system, okay? So if there will be limitations of the system, then we need to address the non-conformities by going to the root cause analysis or finding what's went wrong in the process. Okay, so that is the plan, do, check, and act, or the aspect, the core elements of ISO 39001. Okay. In summary, the ISO 39001 requires our organization to understand how it can influence road safety. Okay. Importantly, you have to establish the top management commitment and leadership, okay? And also to have policy in road traffic safety and to communicate it. Other factors that improve road safety is part of the aspect as well. Then establishing your programs and plans, putting up your resources and support through management action. Okay? And you have to measures and improve your performance thereby. So then ISO 39000 will provide significant opportunities for different types of organization, whether you are in petrochemical, manufacturing, or construction, and so on and so forth. Everybody's using transportation. Okay? We're traveling now and then, so it will shape by the context of the organization when we apply the 39,000. So it will definitely decided by the types of the activities of the organization. Okay? So in general, if we are asking that what are the importance of ISO 39001, so we can ask these three basic questions. Is there any organization from which the standard is not relevant? And is the standard is likely to be useful for your organization with this kind of road traffic safety management system? Or are you interested to be an early adopter? Okay? So the ISO 39001 would like to exude the innovation in road traffic safety. By having the system, we can control somehow the preventable accidents and limit the human factors of road accident. Okay? So in general, based on British Standards Institution, regardless of the types of organization, whether you're a road user, road contractors or maintainers or organization, okay, the benefits goes with the economic, social, and moral aspects. So for economic, it will lessen the insurance claim, sick leave, okay, legal action, okay, vehicle repair, okay, also will improve your consumer confidence, okay, tendering advantage, okay, and also for the aspect of improve social responsibility credentials. Okay. So in summary, the ISO 39001 would lead into more efficient and more responsible organization as far as road traffic accidents is concerned. So that's it from me. That concludes my brief presentation, and I can now open now for possible question or clarification.
Thank you, Ronnie, for this presentation. Also, I want to apologize for any of the technical issues during the presentation. However, now, with the time left, we will go ahead with questions. Therefore, if you have any questions, it is time to ask them. Please use the comment box or raise hand function, and we will go ahead and answer your question. Thank you. As for the first question, Ronnie, it is, in your experience, what should be the primary questions organizations should ask themselves when evaluating the road traffic safety management system?
Well, there's a basic checklist of that BSI provided in terms of road safety, and that will, or as I was saying, BSI provided some information on how to start with the roads checklist for self-assessment, and some of the questions regarding the road safety has something to do with the scope of the RTSM. Okay? Like for example, has the scope of the scope of road RTSMS been determined and documented? Okay? Or maybe the first context would be, sorry for that one. The first question would be the organization and its context. Okay? So that will mean need to assess issues, okay, related to road safety. What are the activities of the organization? Okay? So that will be the first question. Assess first the context of the organization as far as the road traffic safety is concerned. Okay? After that, you have to develop the needs and expectation of interested party. This will mean your stakeholders, both internal and external. So the RTS also needs to highlight the local and national compliance with related laws. So I think the first question will be the organization and its context, and followed by the needs and expectation of the interested parties.
Thank you. The next question is, in what parts of the world is ISO 39001 being implemented successfully and had the further most positive indications in road safety?
Currently, I don't have this information as of this time, so I think I beg pardon me for not giving the information this time. I have little information on the usage of the RTS globally. Okay? I think there are some initiatives, like for example, there's a different system in the Gulf, in the kingdom, that follows the SQAS system of transport safety. So for the 39,000 itself, I think this is a new standard that needs to, takes some time for for effectiveness and implementation. Based on my research, it was the inceptions of the program started in 2008. So it was completed later on, and the introduction of the system is considered new system. So I think it will take some time to basically determine the effectiveness of this RTS as far as the country is concerned, so to speak.
Thank you. Another question is, in your experience, what are the particular organizations ISO 39001 is focused on?
Oh, well, logistic-wise, or manufacturing, okay. There's no specific organization or specialized organization that use RTS, so to speak, but it can cater to a variety of organizations. Although there are some limitation in terms of other aspect of road safety, such as dangerous goods, but the RTS per se is compatible with other road traffic management system. So regardless of the company, it's the same as the question of what is the applicability of ISO 9001. Well, I can say that RTS applies to to variety of companies.
Thank you. Another question is, can the ISO 39001 be certified?
Yes, under the new program, it can be certified as a management system. All the management system can be certified.
Thank you. Another question is, most of the statistics provided concern Saudi Arabia. What is the significance?
Well, I just want to basically highlight the infrastructure itself, because in terms of the infrastructure, we can say that Saudi, in terms of road infrastructure, is a good infrastructure, so to speak. But the limitation therein is the development of a good system. Okay. As I have mentioned a while ago, that 84% of the accident, okay, has something to do with human factors. So when you say human factors, it boils down to three factors, which is organization factors, you get job factors, and you get the personal factors. So highlighting Saudi and even Philippines will coincide with the issues of the need of road traffic safety in a developing country or in a developed country. So this is just to contrast the effect of the infrastructure, a good infrastructure versus the limitation of human factors.
Thank you for that clarification. Also, another question is RTS requirement Is an RTS a requirement even if your organization doesn't implement ISO 39001?
As far as I know, this is currently it is not a requirements. Okay, it's all the standard per se are voluntary. So on top of that is the moral obligation of the company to ensure that the traffic accidents are the information or the numbers in. I think we are compelled to do something about the issues of road traffic accidents. So.
Thank you. Another question here is, what indications has the ISO 39001 implementation
of the company or the corporate social responsibility of the company towards the community as well as their employer to protect them?
I'm sorry, Ronnie, there was some technical difficulties and I thought that you were finished with your question, with your answer, I mean. Should I go ahead and move on to the next question? Ronnie? Seems that we are having some technical difficulties. However, Ronnie, we're having some technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Yes, can you hear me now? We will have to conclude this presentation.
Go ahead.
However, if you have any other questions, you can send your questions through email, and we will answer to them individually. Thank you again, Ronnie, for this interesting and helpful presentation. Also, I want to thank all the attendees as well for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. To keep up with our webinars, please check PECB's webinar schedule in our website, www.pecb.com, or our official social media network. Since next week, we are organizing webinars on interesting topics. Next Monday, we are hosting a webinar on the topic Overview of ISO 13485 Medical Devices. Thank you, everyone, and I do again apologize for the technical issues. Enjoy the rest of your day.